talking, oh, there's hundreds of fights under him. It's total bullshit. Total usual clickbait bullshit.
Listen, I've been hearing JDM say that his loss against Islam was paid for, and a lot of other fighters are spreading the same talk. Let me tell you one thing. You guys are getting very close to losing your careers.
You can't let this get canceled.
I had a deal with him. We had a deal to fight Tom.
The FBI has actually flagged over 100 UFC fights in 2025 for suspicious betting patterns. It all started with one fight that nobody was supposed to be watching. The fight that changed everything.
So we said, okay, the fight plays out, and first round finish by rear naked choke. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI. So we called the FBI. I've met with the FBI twice today.
Let me take you back to this particular card, buried deep in the preliminary.
15 minutes of control time. I mean, the only other really right now in the top in that welterweight.
How long it was? Was it 19 minutes?
Jesus. Yeah.
Islam Makhachev broke him mentally. And that's not to knock JDM, that is to give Islam all his flowers, all the credit in the world. He is unbelievable.
He didn't just win a second belt. Islam Makhachev walked into UFC 322 and shattered the entire division so violently that even the pros are still arguing about the real reason Jack Della Maddalena looked like he'd been dragged through a hurricane.
I think I thought either JDM somehow really has closed those gaps on the holes that he has to where he's able to step forward and start to do damage, or Islam was going to do what I thought he was going to do. That's get him down, and when you get some of these guys down, you're able to float. Like we wrestle, we're able to float on these guys. We're able to just kind of be a step ahead of them in them trying to maneuver and create a scramble to get back to their feet. And that's what Islam did. I mean, come on, 19 minutes of control time. I mean, the only other really right now in the top in that welterweight.
How long it was? Was it 19 minutes? Jesus.
Yeah. The only other time I've seen that long right now in that welterweight division with these top guys is I would say my fight versus Buckley.
Masvidal even drops the bomb that only one man he knows, Ilia Topuria, might have any hope of cracking Islam's code, and trust me, you're gonna want to hear why that tiny comment is igniting a massive war behind the scenes.
But I think for the most part, it was just the fact that he couldn't do anything. He was getting taken down. He was getting controlled. He did do a good job of not giving up, okay? Because, listen, Islam is a tremendous fighter, okay? He's got a record now of 28-1. He now ties Anderson Silva for a 16-fight win streak. I still think Anderson's was more impressive because 12 of those 16 fights were title fights, and that is more impressive. And of course, we saw some wild knockouts from Anderson Silva, but still, I'm not taking away from Islam Makhachev. What he's achieved is unbelievable. He's a two-weight division champion. Anderson Silva didn't do that, and he has won 16 in a row, okay? So take a bow. Unbelievable.
Sean O'Malley reacts to Jack Della Maddalena's matchup like he witnessed a cruel setup, admitting his own first title defense was a gift compared to the nightmare JDM was handed in fighting a larger, ruthless Prime Makhachev.
Jack got a little bit too confident. He tried to go for a whizzer kick or a hip throw. Tried to go for a hip throw on Islam Makhachev. What are you doing? You don't do that. He shouldn't be trying to grapple with Islam at all. But of course, he had success against other grapplers in the past. Against Bilal Muhammad, he was able to have some success in the grappling transitions. But of course, Islam Makhachev is the next level. Okay, so he made a big mistake there in trying to go for his own throw. Ended up back on the ground. And then in rounds 3, 4, and 5, Islam just timed them perfectly. There was almost no resistance.
O'Malley straight up admits he got blessed with Cheeto, while Jack got thrown into a wood chipper, and then he warns that Russian fighters are taking over the UFC with a level of discipline that he says the rest of the world can't even match.
But there was a lot of resistance on the face of Jack, right? He looked miserable. He looked like he couldn't wait for this fight to end. And I'm not saying that to insult Jack, far from it. In fact, I'm saying the opposite, because he could have taken the easy way out several times. Islam was trying to finish him. He was trying to get Kimuras. He was trying to get straight arm hooks. He was trying to get the doors multiple times that he's got many other great fighters with, and he was trying to get rear naked chokes, okay? And Jack was tired. Jack was deflated. He was dejected. He was beaten, and he knew it was. He knew he was. And all he could have done was just extend his arm. All he could have done was not resist, okay? But the man was still fighting. He was still trying to get back to his feet. His coach is giving him a hard time in the corner. They're all frustrated with him because, of course, they just want the best for him, but it wasn't meant to be, okay? Islam dominated the fight. It was one-way traffic. It was pretty easy. I don't know if Jack even landed a clean shot.
Bisping reveals the moment that sealed Jack's fate, a wildly confident hip throw attempt that Islam countered in a split second before punishing him with 3 straight rounds of suffocating wrestling. So one-sided, it looked like Jack was stuck in quicksand.
I think Islam pressure's crazy,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think it is all the hype, like it's built up to be. It is just next level, much like Chimaev. They're just sticky fellas.
Yeah, man.
And like, you just mentioned it, like how much slower he looked in that third round. Every time Islam would take Jack down, Jack was just getting gassed defending the submission attempts, trying to move him off him. And then when they got back to their feet or started the round again, his jabs just didn't have the pop and crispness that they needed to have. Whereas Islam looked much the same.
Jack looked drained, defeated, and emotionally crushed in the corner as his coaches begged him to rally. But Bisping says Islam kept pushing forward with near. Michael Bisping breaks down how Jack simply could not escape Islam's grip, praising his heart but making it painfully clear that Islam's 28-1 record and 16-fight win streak put him in the rarest company, tying Anderson Silva's run while simultaneously collecting gold in 2 divisions.
Islam went straight for the calf kick within the first minute, straight for the calf kick, started doing some real damage to that leg early on. Obviously, and obviously the wrestling was always going to be a big factor in this fight. Islam does what Islam does. But I think the leg attacks just took Jack's foundation away. You know, his grounding in that tight-knit boxing that he likes to use. It affected not only his movement when he was striking, but his defense, his backing up against cage, his sprawl ability, all of it. Not to say though, Islam's timing was just sensational.
Perfect.
You know, sensational.
Their submissions and relentless pressure, turning the fight into a one-way beating where Jack barely landed anything clean.
Is there any chance that Ilia Topuria goes up to welterweight and fights Islam Makhachev for the 3rd belt?
Goes up 2 weight divisions.
He's talked about it.
So I thought like Islam might do that. I feel like he might have the size to do that. But
wait, to go to middleweight?
Maybe.
He could.
Wrestlers, they're a different breed, those guys.
Can you imagine Islam Makhachev versus Khamzat Chimaev? That would feed generations. That's crazy.
That would be huge. And then you put it in like Abu Dhabi. Like it'd be wild. Everyone's winning that from that card.
Robert Whitaker, analyzing like a sniper, exposes the first crack in Jack's night. Islam's calf kicks in the opening minute that nuked Jack's base, blocked his sprawl, ruined his movement, and made every defensive reaction half a second slower.
Islam's smart enough to know that's probably the only, at 185, he could probably beat most guys. Probably could do that to most guys. Khamzat is just a bigger version of Islam. Like there's just that would be sick to watch. That'd actually be a fucking fun grappling fight. I'd love to see that.
Whitaker explains that every takedown drained Jack's power, and by the time he got back up, his punches felt like shadows, while Islam still fought like he just left warm-up drills. And if you think that's frightening, you're about to hear something even crazier.
Is Islam's legacy greater than Khabib's legacy?
Yes. Just out of pure merit, 100%. Title defense is a two weight division thing, but it's ironic, bro. If they were to fight, Khabib would beat him.
and the crazy.
And he said it himself, like, dude, if I was to fight this dude, he'd beat me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all hypothetical, right?
Whitaker says Islam might be strong enough to go to middleweight and fight guys who walk around like tanks, and he teases the idea of Islam versus Khamzat in Abu Dhabi, a showdown that would generate absolute chaos in the MMA world.
He is just so strong, he is so good, he is so dominant, he is so talented, and now he becomes just the 11th fighter in UFC history to win a belt in 2 different weight classes. He is also the man who has just won his 16th fight in a row, and in doing so, ties the great Anderson Silva for the longest winning streak in UFC history. So all kinds of history made tonight at Madison Square Garden. He is the pound for pound best in the world. There is no denying that, and is slowly but surely going down as one of the greatest ever. And in my opinion, has put his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov with this victory very much in the rearview mirror. He has surpassed him. If he had not done so already, Islam Makhachev is that guy. And now the welterweights.
Sean O'Malley co-signs the idea of Islam at 185, saying Islam is smart, composed, and well-rounded enough to beat most fighters there. And he hints that Islam versus Khamzat would be a grappling war nobody is truly prepared for.
Yeah, all hypothetical. But for me, I don't know if I could answer that because what Khabib was able to do for the sport and for the Muslim. I mean, obviously there were Muslims in the sport before Khabib, but what he was able to do as far as putting out on his back, I think was remarkable. So, and then the way Khabib was disposing of his guys. So it was, man, it's tough to say, but I do think Islam Makhachev is right now is up there.
Henry Cejudo then drops one of the most controversial statements of the night. Islam Makhachev has now surpassed Khabib in accomplishments, stacking more title defenses and holding 2 belts, even though Cejudo admits Khabib would probably win in a head-to-head fight.
I'm not here to glaze it in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but I say it's the most competitive because when I look at a guy like Islam, I don't really see holes like that. And that's something that scares me, that causes that heartbeat to go up, and that's where you see some of the most spectacular performance. Because the last time I felt that like that was Colby Covington won, and that's when I was like, yo, you got a guy that can wrestle just as good as you, a guy that can grapple just as good, a guy that can maybe not strike it, but a guy that can strike just as well. You have a guy that's good at all these things. How do you get that victory? And that's where you live. That's where you get that your spirit just is in there to just fight it out. And so I would say yes, if you're talking about which fight right now is probably the most competitive. And listen, Islam is great. It's great. Especially what he did last.
Absolutely true.
But Kamaru Usman pushes back, saying Khabib's impact on the sport still stands untouched, even while acknowledging that Islam right now might be the most complete, most dangerous fighter in the entire UFC. Usman explains that watching Islam reminds him of how he felt preparing for Colby, knowing he was entering the deepest, darkest competitive zone against a man without weaknesses, and he calls Islam one of the hardest matchups on the planet.
This insane depth of feel, not just knowledge, but a feel of positions, such that, yes, was he prepared for some of these particular attacks? Yes. But the reason why he was so able to nimbly defeat them is also because they took specific preparation for what they were going to face and married that with his natural understanding of the feel for these positions, what makes them work, what makes them not work, and how to react very quickly to reconstitute it or reconsolidate top position. So he throws Islam, but Islam maintains that tight whizzer, hip to hip, hips facing the mat, and then runs back, and so it just doesn't work.
Luke Thomas praises Islam's preparation, but stresses that outside coaching can't replace a lifetime of wrestling mastery, saying Islam's depth of grappling knowledge is so immense that it was the invisible advantage JDM never had a chance to overcome. Thomas says Islam's instincts are freakish, reacting to transitions faster than opponents can plan them, neutralizing every technique with a mix of experience and pure combat intuition.
He's underneath, he's underneath, he's underneeth. Gotta go now. Even the squeeze from there, He's just there like flexes his back muscles. Yeah, he can't make a mistake at all, but then homeboy will jump on it.
Islam is great. You can't take anything away from him.
Ariel Helwani crowns Islam the undisputed pound-for-pound #1 in the world and says this win finally lifts Islam out of Khabib's shadow forever, placing him on his own legendary path with a resume that's now too big to ignore.
So the first thing I want to say was Islam came super well prepared. Super well prepared. But the more important part was that, dude, Islam made a point during fight week when they asked him about like, hey, what about the Craig Jones influence? And again, I love Craig and I think his influence is real, and to the extent that JDM was in this at all, I think is in large part a credit to Craig. But one thing he did say that I also think in Islam's defense, he obviously proved to be quite right, which was, yeah, listen, you can bring a guy like that in and they can help you, but that's not the same as a lifetime of wrestling. It's not the same as a lifetime of grappling. It's just not the same. Like the amount of things you're going to know and the amount of ways you're going to be able to make that work is just so significantly different. And that was absolutely, that's true more broadly, and that was
Usman even compares Islam's control to his own prime championship reign, which is insane praise. And if you think that's big, you need to keep watching, because in 60 seconds, I'm dropping an expert prediction that flips the whole P4P debate upside down.
I just was very, very astonished. Islam, I think, looked better than ever. I never saw him breathing hard. At 155, I'll see after he gets in good wrestling scrambles, or a guy might get away or something, he'll maybe take a little breath, catch his breath, and go right back into it. This was scary, man. This guy never got tired. I'd look at him after every round, wasn't even breathing, was a joke. He's gonna be a scary guy at 170. The amount of strength, gas, and experience, technique he has. To me, he's #1 pound for pound guy right now.
Henry Cejudo jumps in and blasts fans for not understanding what Islam actually accomplished, hammering home that he just became the 11th double champ in UFC history, while systematically chopping down JDM with leg kicks and takedowns round after round until Jack was practically begging for a reset.
It's gonna be really, really hard to beat this guy. I don't think I could ever bet against him now, you know, unless it's my little brother Ilya, but other than that, I mean, this guy's just a problem, man. He is so fucking good. And everywhere, his stand-up, he was actually piecing up Jack on the feet. Jack was worried about the takedown. He started chopping that leg. It was a stellar performance. I know a lot of fans said it wasn't the most exciting, this and that, but man, Islam did his job. He did what he's supposed to do. Take the guy down, control him, try to hurt him, try to submit him. It's not really